girl, are you serious?
Because some of these trans girls be having bigger than your man. So what?
I wish you would.
Girl,
So ready to throw Jesus on top of everything.
Girl, we can't. Girl, you know.
We can talk all day long.
I'm caught up in a rapture, okay?
Yes!
But y'all go down this road of
being a preacher's kid,
denigrating femmes as if,
and also being non-binary. Ain't not the reason you can go suck a masculine right now.
He was giving very much, what was it? My mama got blocked earlier this year.
Then there's that.
And if you want to act like them too, you can get blocked too.
Getting married for love is a very new concept.
Especially
very
for
new.
Black women.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Don't Get Me Started. It is me, your East Coast child of glucose, Marlin, checking in with y'all again. And today I have a very, very, very special guest. I love this person so much. Ladies and gentlemen, he, him, she, they, we's. Welcome Harri to the show. Welcome, baby. Hey, how you feeling today?
I'm good.
I definitely wanted to get into the fact that we are both Midwesterners and have moved to other cities and states and all of those things. So I'm going to play a quick game of this or that with you. It's giving very Detroit edition.
Okay.
I'll see how much has stuck with you. Okay.
Right.
So first one, let me start off kind of light. Rock and Rye or Red Pop?
Red Pop.
Okay. Interesting. I actually liked Rock and Rye a little bit more than I like Red Pop.
Rock and Rye was cute. You know, she was giving very much, what was it? Cream. It was giving cream soda, but not so much cream soda. It had it was like a dirty cream soda. Like if you
That is the perfect description. Dirty cream soda. There we go. Okay. Big Sean or Eminem?
Big Sean.
Okay.
Big Sean was the very first concert that I went to.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Check that out. Was it back home in Detroit or was it somewhere?
It was.
Okay.
I went to Eastern Michigan University, and he had a concert at Eastern, and so that was my very first concert.
Anita Baker or Aretha Franklin?
Anita.
Down. All right, and last one. I already know.
Now, if you was to ask my mother, it would be Aretha. But me,
really?
I'm Anita. I'm caught up in a rapture. Okay.
Yes. All day long. See, I knew I loved you for a reason. All right, last one. We already know the answer to this, but I want the rest of the world to know the answer to this. And I think you already know where I'm going to go with this, but I'm gonna just say it: Burners or Canada Dry?
Burners.
Down. All y'all out there. When it comes down to the discussion of ginger ale on the interwebs, I want all you girlies to know that Burners is elite. And if you've never had her, you haven't had ginger ale.
Like the other ginger ales have a concept of a plan of like being ginger ale, but like Burners is actually ginger ale.
They have ideas of ginger ale, but they do not know what it is for real.
Exactly.
Not at all. Okay, sweet. That was a fun game. So let's talk about your transition from Detroit to Florida. How has it been for you? Like, I can only imagine that the energy is a lot different, especially because they're two totally different places. But like, how's that been for you growing up, born and raised in Detroit, and then living in Florida now?
It was a bit of not even a bit of a culture shock. It was a culture shock because I went from being in the Midwest, which is kind of Southern, but not quite Southern, to being in the South. You know, it's just like that. It's that Southern like hospitality. People live very much by respectability politics down here. They do. It is what it is. Sure. Right. And then there, especially when it comes to queerness, like people are especially like go. And then it's just, you know, it's like a change because, you know, the United States is very big. I say this all the time. The United States is extremely big. It needs to be smaller. The United States is larger than some large countries. Like some of our states are bigger than some large countries. I was just like, it needs to be smaller. But like that change from going from Michigan to Florida was just the weather. Bitch, skin cleared up because
more sun, more vitamin D.
So it was just like a lot of different things that went into living down here. I love Florida. I do not think Florida is my ending.
Okay.
But I do love it here.
So you touched on a point that I wanted to talk to you about as it pertains to living in the South and being openly queer. How has that been for you? Because I know we don't really have it easy nowhere for real, child.
Right.
We congregate in certain spaces a little bit more than others, depending on what city and state you're in. But the energy and the climate and atmosphere is different in every city and state. And I just wanted to know, what is it like being there and being openly queer?
It's challenging.
Okay.
I think, but Florida is also a place because of the time frame in which I moved here, because I moved here when I was 20.
Okay.
And so the time frame in which I moved here, while it was challenging, was also during a time where I was doing a lot of changes. And so it was just kind of like one of those moments where it was like, girl, you either gonna do it or you not. And so, and a lot of times I was just like, fuck it, just do it. So a lot of times for me, I am the only person that looks like me in spaces. And that is within queerness because I identify as non-binary. Mm-hmm. So even in most queer spaces, I'm either with gay men or trans women. It is really there is not much in between.
Wow.
And so, and even in a lot of situations where I am with trans women, they are still being misgendered in space. And a lot of but the thing about it is a lot of trans women also, because Jacksonville is even though Jacksonville is one of the largest cities in our country, it is still when you are Black, it is still a very small space. And so a lot of these trans women that live here have known them since before they transition. So people are still calling them, by he. They're still calling them by their, their boy name. So it's interesting. I don't allow people to call me he. I either go by they or she. But it has been a challenge being in the South. But I think a lot of times when you were with Black people in general, when you're honest, they respect you a lot more. It'd be the people that, that are hiding in plain sight that, they don't really care for.
Well.
But I can say, even when you are open, you taking a little bit of risk in the South, especially because I hang out with a lot of cis women. So, they occupy cis spaces. And so sometimes I will go, sometimes I won't. I'll be like, girl, it's too straight. I catch you on the flip side. Invite me to another, I'll be there, but I can't. Especially if it's nightlife. But yeah, it'd be a challenge, it'd be a thing, but you make it work. Like Pride in Detroit, I do miss. That I will say that, but like also being down here, Pride is like a totally different experience. Because there are very few. Like when I was living in Detroit, I rarely ran into like drag queens and like trans women and different things. Also, I can only attest because I was so young and I left so early. I was also probably due to it as well. But I moved here. I was like, oh, okay, girl. Thank you. So there were a lot of things that I experienced in Florida that I didn't get to experience in Michigan. But I love Michigan for what it is because Michigan started a lot of this for me.
Gotcha. Yeah. I can definitely attest to that as well as far as Detroit, Michigan is concerned, because I credit Detroit as my second home because not only was it the second place I ever lived, but Detroit is where I found myself. And I was already unapologetically gay in many ways. I came out when I was 16. By the time I got there, I was like, bitch, I wish you would. You get a lot, I gained a lot of pride. I gained a lot of self-affirmation, a lot of self-love in Detroit. I always tell people all the time, like, don't nobody ride for Detroit like Detroiters. Like,
no,
and you not gonna come there and talk shit. We can talk shit all day long.
Absolutely.
But you better
even
not
to
say
this day,
shit.
people be like, "Oh yeah, like Detroit is so girl, mind your business. You don't know where to go." That's
right. That's first of all, that's what it is. But you don't know what you're doing when you get there. That's the problem. But I will say that the time that I had in Detroit, as far as getting into queer spaces and meeting different facets of the LGBTQ acronym there, you really have to be intentional and really know where to go. Because if I wasn't in those spaces and didn't know and wasn't around the people, I can see myself kind of wafting around and not knowing what the hell to do.
Yeah, one of my friends that have recently gone to Detroit and they asked me, they was like, where should I? I'm like, girl, I don't know, because the Woodward is gone.
Because it's like, I tell people all the time, I have, of every major metropolitan city in America that I've been to, I have a gay cheers everywhere. The Woodward is my gay cheers of Detroit.
No, it is.
And she gone, like.
It is. And it was like, when I found I said, girl, not the Woodward, girl, ain't nobody told me nothing.
Of all things, of all places, it destroyed me. And one of the things that I absolutely adore about your presence on social media, I need y'all to follow Harri on all the social media platforms and get you a piece of Rapid Fire Facts. I can't even remember the first one I ever saw, but I know when I first saw it, I fell in love. I love it so much. You see, I repost that bitch every time you put it up, everywhere I am. So I wanted to talk to you about, like, how did you even think to get started with that platform of yours?
So, Rapid Fire Facts started after Roe v. Wade. Okay. So I did it because it was always a bunch of shit to talk about, and I was already on TikTok, as a creator already for about a year. And so I had already had a following. And so I realized I was like making multiple videos about multiple things that were going on. And I was like, girl, I don't feel like doing this. I just might make one video,
right?
Say my little piece and move on.
Yeah.
And so after that, I made my first Rapid Fire Facts video after Roe v. Wade happened. Because I was like, girl, something happened with Chris Brown at that particular time as well. Roe v. Wade happened, something else happened. I said, girl, I'm gonna make this extra video. I'm gonna make this one cute video, girl.
Right.
And we're gonna, keep it at that. I did not expect it to become a weekly thing because when I first started it was not weekly. I was just doing them whenever, whenever I felt like it. And then it like caught on, like it caught on, and like I would see people out, and they'd be like, "You the Rapid Fire Man."
Love it.
But with making it a weekly thing, the people be feeling, entitled, which is why I didn't do it the first time. People online feel entitled to what you should be talking about. But people be like, "Oh, why did you talk about this?" Or, "Oh, this is going on." And this is my page.
Relax.
It's a whole bunch of other motherfuckers on this motherfucking app and others that talk about all different types of shit. Find somewhere to be besides my comment.
Period.
But so far so good. I love it.
I wanted to talk to you a little bit about being a preacher's kid and also being non-binary. That has been one of the things that I found very fascinating about you because we all know.
Girl, I'm doing it.
I told you I was gonna get in your business.
It's fine. I do want to just preface as a preacher's kid, I was raised Jehovah's Witness, so you have to preface that as well.
You just added kerosene to the fire at this point. Damn. Okay, got you.
So while my father is not a preacher, like in the terms that most people in Christianity would consider it, he was a presiding, very high member of our congregation. And I might as well have been a preacher's child.
Okay.
So yeah.
Got you. Wow. Because Christianity's one thing. Well, that's something else we have in common.
So Jehovah's Witnesses are Christian. I just want to preface that. I never. This is my thing. Like, people be like, "Oh, here, see, you, like, you're just so brave. You're just." I'm like, no, girl. Look, it was the only thing that I knew. So for me, I don't feel like I missed out on anything. I don't feel like anything was taken from me because my parents never made me feel like I was, missing out on something or I was, wrong for something or whatever the case may be. And for a lot of it, because, religion is indoctrinating, I thought y'all motherfuckers was the bad one. So,
period.
Yeah, like, it's just like one of those things where I had, like, I don't have anything bad to say about Jehovah's Witnesses. I can only speak to my experience and, what I have dealt with and, deal with regards to still, having relationships with my family. But like, you're not going to catch me like, oh yeah, girl, because you're not going to get all that from me. I'm not going to do all of that, girl.
Got you. Okay. And I love that for you because I know so many people. I had an ex-boyfriend that was grew up Jehovah's Witness, and he got excommunicated completely when he came out. My father's side of the family, low-key, don't fuck with me since I came out. It's a very interesting dynamic. So you having the experience of not having that experience is a good thing to me because I know so many people that have not had that.
My relationship with my family is not the best, so we can't be like. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, like me and them folks get along. No, we don't. I don't talk. My mama got blocked earlier this year. Right.
Well, then there's that.
And me and my brother just had a whole conversation about it. And I was like, I don't have nothing to say to them people. And if you want to act like them too, you can get blocked too. These blocks is free.
All of them are free. Accessible.
Yeah, free.
Push the button. Boop. Thanks so much.
Yeah. But as far as like how I feel about being raised Jehovah's Witness, I mean, it's different. It is very a close knit community. Yes. Also, being Black and being a Jehovah's Witness is even it's even tighter.
Yes, tight like that, child. Absolutely.
Because I was, and as I stated, my father was he was a very well-known member of our congregation. Also, just in the state period, like people knew people knew who I was based on my last name. And they'd be like, I'd be like, oh, my name is Harrison such and such, and they'd be like, you such and such like. Your girl.
Bear that. Or they knew my brother or my sister because I am the miracle baby. So so I am my brother and my sister are there's a large age gap between our births. So my sister, my next oldest, or I'm the youngest of three. My sister is 15 years older than I am, and my brother is 18 years older than I am. So there's a very large gap between all of my situation. My parents are a lot older than most people's parents my age. And so my parents are in their 70s. And most people my age, their parents are in their 50s, late 50s, mid 50s. So I've also had, I had baby boomer parents. So that's also another layer added to it. So it just explains your whole energy, your whole spirit, child. You got the old spirit because your parents is up there. I get it now.
So, now I do know, and I can't say because I know some people gonna be like, oh, blah. Yes, there are some shitty Jehovah's Witnesses. So if your situation was fucked up, girl, I understand. I overstand because I knew some people that had fucked up situations. And honestly, after I came out, that is when shit got real for me. But I do know, especially some girls, that had a situation while being within our religion. And, I can't deny that. I can't take that away from you. It just wasn't my experience.
So we can jump right on into the Don't Get Me Started rant of it all. So I told Harri that I wanted to talk a little bit about intersectionality today, especially because everything that's going on with this administration and all this other bullshit, I feel like so many things are heightened for the queer community that I think that it's very important that we pay attention and pour a little bit more into our intersections as Black, as queer, as non-binary, all the things, insert your intersection here. And start to really focus in on community and community building. Because I think that a lot of people are starting to feel kind of isolated in certain ways because either they don't know what they're doing, they don't know what's going on, they feel like all of this shit's happening so fast, and feel like everything is being broken down very, very quickly. So my question is, okay, so being Black and queer is already a struggle in and of itself. Add on the mayhem about current administration is a horror story. So how do you navigate all the things going on in the world considering all of your intersections?
I think for me, so I'm a history girl. So history, well, if it don't repeat itself, it rhyme a lot, girl.
How about it? Yeah.
So, you can recognize patterns. That's why poli-sci is literally a major, because things have patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you recognize the pattern, you just gotta, move within that pattern, or figure out how certain people move with this said pattern. And if there's not a rubric or a cheat sheet, girl, you're gonna have to figure it out. So for me, it's just understanding the history and then understanding where we are in modern times, and then kind of trying to fit in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just being aware.
Gotcha.
I think a lot of people, they are so on edge because they don't know how shit works. I always say, y'all don't know what the fuck going on because y'all didn't pay attention in civics class, girl.
Period. Yeah.
I was like, if you paid attention in that civics class in 10th grade, you might be a little less on edge. But because you wasn't paying attention, Miss Mamas, you out here freaking out.
Right.
Now, yes, I do think once stuff get too sticky, I do have the exit plan.
Okay.
So, because I don't want to be stuck here if it get real, 19, get real World War I, gets real Germany in here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be stuck here if it gets real 1944. I'm gonna be like, you know what? Let me just hit on that, girl.
Out of here.
So I do have an exit plan, just in case it gets a little too sticky. Because with the fact that they are doing all of these mass deportations that they cannot actually do, and then all of the privatization of incarcerated privatization in prisons and things, which they will most likely end up. Right. I just be like, be easy. I be like, girl, you just gotta watch, keep your head on this little watch, read. I tell people all the time, y'all don't be reading, y'all have to read. You have to read. So for me, it's a number of just being aware, understanding history, reading, and then having an exit plan, and not just having an exit plan for you, having an exit plan with your community. If there are people around you or your close friend group, you need to be having these conversations with your good girlfriends, your good Judy's. Like, hey girl, so if shit go left, what are we going to do? Mm-hmm. Because you're going to need a community, even if you don't have a plan to leave the U.S. If you're gonna stay here, maybe you're going to need a plan. You're gonna need a plan, and you and your community are going to. You can't be, oh girl, like I'm in this one bedroom apartment, I don't like living. Girl, you might have to look. It's getting
divided.
Right. It's getting real and frank around here. Y'all might have to be
baby. People under the stairs, baby. Okay. Absolutely. Yes, all that.
You know, if you decided to read or, you know, look into Project 2025 a little bit, the list is being checked off.
Yeah, it is.
So I better be aware. Midterms is next year. Hopefully we make it that far.
For me, as a Black gay cis man, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, all of this shit is going on. Everybody is not really as deep into it or as tapped in as maybe I might be. And navigating everything has been kind of tough just because there are so many things that I have to worry about. When they started talking about tampering with HIV medications, PrEP, and all that other shit, I was like, okay, all right, honey, time out. I just got on the shot. I ain't got time. Like, we can't do this today. We can't do this today. And things like that. All of those things are like very concerning. But one thing that you said that I found that I think is very, very important that I want everybody to know is that when it comes down to social media, especially because they have their hands in so many different things, and the way that they are shadow banning folks that we get most of our information from, shadow banning us because of who we are and all of our intersections, it's getting to the point where it's like, baby, you're gonna have to be intentional about getting the information and getting the right information, not the shit that they're feeding you. And reading is fun and mental, sweetheart. I need you, because what I find very interesting is the fact that I feel like the masses have almost been conditioned for this very moment, because so many people are so quick to see a headline and run with it. They don't do no research. They don't do the Googles. They don't do nothing. They don't read nothing.
I mean, because it's just also due to the culture of social media, right?
Yes, that as well. Yes.
So while we originally a headline was just a headline, but that was when, you know, newspapers just used the headline to catch your attention, but you had an article that you had to read.
Yes, that just all of her. Thank you.
You know, with headlines, with headlines on socials, the headlines are there, but like there's no article to go along with it, because you have to click on a link and go to a different website, and people don't want to do that.
Nobody's really ready for it.
No.
Nobody's ready for it. A lot of people are, I'm not my ancestors and all that shit. That is, you have no idea.
Why not? You are
absolutely not. Because what they did, you ain't ready to do, for real.
No, not at all. Because there are so many. Well, if you ever sit down and talk, especially like if you have grandparents in their, I always say, if you have grandparents in their 80s and 90s, talk to them about the things that they went through in their teens and 20s. Mm-hmm. Just act like, so what was life like for you? Like, they will tell you stories and shit, and you'll be like, girl, what the fuck is going on? Girl, why is you so happy? Girl, you should be angry. You should be mad right now.
Yes, you should be pissed, knocking shit over every day. Every day. Yeah.
Like there are stories, like especially like going through like the TikTok hole I went down, like talking to grandmother, like Black grandmothers. These girls were talking to their Black grandmothers about, you know, how they ended up with their husbands, or, you know, just, you know. And so a lot of them was like, oh yeah, like I didn't want them, but I ain't had no choice. I got pregnant, or I got pregnant. Yeah. Or somebody caught us, you know, doing such and such, or, you know, it was just like, girl, what the fuck is going on?
And I need girls to understand that getting married for love is a very new concept.
Right, it's a very new concept, especially for Black women.
Yes,
especially for Black women. I mean, women in general, getting married for love is a new concept. But for Black women, it is absolutely, because, girl, you was gonna marry that old man because that old man had money.
Period.
And even though he may have not given your family any, you were going to be good and your children were going to be good. Therefore, you need to do this. Like, Mama was not taking it. She said, girl, it's time to be a woman.
That's it. So get on, make it happen. Bye.
Yeah. Now, which it also contributes, which I always say, it also contributes to, the culture, rape culture, and,
that as well.
But that is another conversation. But essentially, girl, you didn't have a choice.
Yeah. I have found that since Danny Declapine got into office, there has been, every time I open Instagram, every time, there's something else. And I have gotten to the point where, because my little Go Get the Belt series, I save stuff to come back to it. Bitch, I can't keep up because every time.
It's every time. It's every day.
Something new. But I picked out 2 today. So the first one I wanted to tackle was, and this one comes from Here's Why Kevin, which I really like. It's for everybody.
You sent it. I accepted it. I'm not too keen on the girl, but
Okay. All right. We'll talk. So the post is State Department changes LGBTQ to LGB, erasing trans people. I'm so exhausted. I really am with society's fascination and this fake outrage when it comes to trans and queer people. It really gets on my nerves because, first of all, y'all all up in the business, number one. I don't know why y'all got obsessed with it. I don't know why this is a thing, why everybody wants to make them the face of all things hellish, wrong, the face of rape culture. Just a lot of shit is really, really enraging for me. And this was the icing on the cake for me because I need for people to understand, especially within our community, because seeing people that are lesbian, gay, and bisexual signing on to this bullshit, while not surprising, is still like, girl, are you fucking serious? Because without the T and the Q, you would not have any of the rights, the wherewithal, any of the things that you have right now.
Right. I say this all the time. You know I say this all the time.
Which goes back to again, to quote you girls don't read. No. You don't, because
you don't even know basic queer history.
I don't know what to do.
You don't know basic queer history. You don't even know basic queer history. Now we have They Are Arrested.
Yes.
We have Langston Hughes. We have Elaine Locke, which Elaine Locke was a predator, but we have Elaine Locke. We have, and then we have Carlton Cullen. But people don't realize that Crystal Laurasia is some of the best queer history. Marsha P. Johnson is the catalyst to all of this shit. So. Because if we're talking about, especially about Black gay men, in history, they were mostly fighting for Black rights.
Yes,
it was very much a Black first, gay later type situation with them. Shout out to our good sis They Are Arrested, but she was very much, she was doing. Okay. Ended up with a white man again. So it's like, girl, what's up? And then there are, but for, as far as basic queer history, Marsha P. Johnson is the catalyst for this shit. Then we have Langston, not Langston Hughes, but James Baldwin. Very much now that one is the one I can say, even though once again they all ended up with white. They all ended up with white men in the end. So I can't. But there was a theory. There was somebody that said there's a theory of having to keep up with, being this activist in the world and having to deal with niggas all day.
Well,
and so then you find this, person that does not have to deal with any of this, and this is very much a choice for them. And so it feels refreshing. I said, girl, I hear you, but I don't hear you.
I get I'm definitely here. You're gonna have to lean in a little bit closer because I don't get it.
I see what you're saying, but I can't.
No.
But But like those things are like real. Like you are correct. When the mask for mask gays get on the internet and be talking shit, I was like, girl, okay, cool, that's fine, great, love that for you. But you don't have to say anything negative about this. You could simply just say, I like this. That is it. But y'all go down this road of denigrating femmes as if
you can go suck a masculine dick right now.
Correct, exactly.
All that to say, like, I want y'all to really get it together and put some respect on the trans and queer community's name, because I don't see none of y'all hopping out in front of no bullets for all of us as a whole.
And I think, because once again, if history don't repeat itself, it definitely rhymes. It's because y'all were it first. Y'all were the delinquents first. Like, let's be fully clear here. Y'all were the delinquents first.
Thank you.
Being gay was illegal first.
Let's keep it a bean.
So, but this goes back to y'all ain't never had to fight for nothing. Y'all like gay men got the right, or gay, I shouldn't say gay men, but like gay people got the right to marry in 2014 and said fuck off.
Which, girl, that was yesterday. It just happened. This is new shit.
And they about to reveal that shit, and y'all about to be real upset. And I feel bad for my sister because she just got married, but I'm like, girl, you might as well, you should have kept that little $20. But I was like, you know, I love you. I see you. Totally match my. Yes.
Oh my God, yo.
But yeah, like, it was, you know, y'all were it first. You were the delinquents first. There was literally like they were institutionalizing gay men specifically.
Yes. Because
they thought gay was like a mental disorder. Mm-hmm. And they are trying to frame that the same way for trans people. And it is so weird, especially when it comes to queer people, cis queer people, mm-hmm. or just cis gay men and women. And they have, you know, lesbians are like, being a TERF is so weird just in general. Because it's like, no one's trying to take anything from you.
Right.
To exist in this space, because being a woman already generally ain't shit. So who's trying?
If your ass who's trying to do anything? Really
like, don't nobody want these niggas that y'all deal with on a regular basis. They treat y'all bad. Why the fuck would I like? What do I want them for?
Hello. And half of them don't wash their ass, and they ain't cute. Yeah, so what are we saying?
Like, so what do I need to fight them for? And honestly, if we're being real, the ones that really want to be over here, come over here anyway.
If they're not already over here, sis.
Exactly. So it's no convincing. I don't need to convince a man that likes trans or is trans attracted to come over to talk to trans women. That is not a thing. They were already over here. They already were over here. They came over here willingly. And the fact that y'all believed them to say, oh, I didn't know, is weird, girl. Because some of these trans girls be having bigger dicks than your man. So what?
Listen, and then
so how did he miss it? There's no way he missed it. There's no way he missed that dick. It's no way he did.
The thing that really gets me is you girls are always contradicting yourself. Because on one hand, y'all all know you can see it a mile away, you can see it coming, but then when you run into an extremely passable trans woman, I would have never known. Girl, so which one is it?
It's not even about
that too.
Because Amaya Scott is not. Amaya Scott is an anomaly. Okay, she's beautiful, but Amaya Scott is an anomaly. All trans women don't come out looking like that.
No,
and everyday trans women do not look like Amaya Scott.
No.
and it's like a lot of trans women that you run into, and this is no shade because I love me some Hope J. They look like Hope J. They're not necessarily passing. They're not necessarily brick. They're just, I can see a little something. And even if you can, or even if you could, And like I said, don't get me wrong, because I let me smoke what you said.
Yes.
Down, bad, really bad. So you see this, girl. Hey, girl. But but like, there's just like this thing where, like you said, it's like you couldn't tell, or you could tell, like you could tell all of this, like, oh yeah, da, da, da. But then why did you believe that man when he said that he didn't like?
He didn't know until the pants came down. First of all,
no, and the thing about it was he knew when the pants came down because he's been over here, girl.
Hello.
I've been knowing this man for 365 days. You thought, girl, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
He knew to this. It's true to this. Okay. He's been around here. First of all, the only reason he's over here is because he used to mess with my good girlfriend. So that's why he knew how to find me. I want y'all to get it together. I just want y'all to.
As far as gay men are concerned, girl, also most trans women find their womanhood through gay men. Like that is a lot of trans women's vehicle into transness. It's through being gay. They were gay boys first. They were booth queens first.
Yes.
So the fact that you are turning your back on a lot of these girls that have been in your community since pre-transition is very weird.
It's very odd. It really don't make no sense to me. It doesn't. And I just don't get it. I don't understand it. And it pisses me off at every turn. I can't.
And I realize a lot of this has nothing to do with. A lot of this has to do with.
Very much so.
Because Black people operate in a system of, girl, I know what the fuck I am. I know what the fuck happened. I know how I came out. I know how I got here. I know all of those things. You don't need to remind me of that. That is not something I really need reminding of. Now, the white girls, on the other hand, they be wanting all the entitlements and all of the things, and and we want, and not doing any work. There's no work. There's no effort. There's no, a lot of my trans fans say, you are responsible for your transition. So however much effort you put in your transition, however good or bad you come out, you are responsible for that.
Period.
Now, a lot of times I will say, girl, especially for binary trans people, because as a non-binary person, I do fall under the trans umbrella, just based on my gender expression and all of that and how I present in the world. But for binary trans people, I'd be like, girl, sometimes y'all gonna have to gatekeep. Y'all gonna have to gatekeep. Y'all are going to have to gatekeep these trans. Like, girl, T.S. Madison always talks about how her gay mother, would be like, girl, you can't go nowhere with me looking like that. Absolutely not.
Pull it together.
Right. Let's just like in the words of our good sis over at Pose, Electra Abundance. Yeah. I can walk down Fifth Avenue with my cheekbones high in the sky and not get clocked.
At high noon. Thank you.
Okay?
Yes.
And so a lot of times y'all gonna have to gatekeep that. Girl, girl, we can't. Girl, it's giving
shit.
Okay, what? Girl, you gonna have to come back after a couple more months of the months, girl.
A couple more shots, girl.
And I can say it's not a shade. It's just one of those things where, like, everybody has these opinions about trans people, yes, and where they are and how they look or their body parts, and it's like, but these are people at the end of the day. These are people. These are human beings. So to tell a person, and let's take gender affirming care out of it. While it is essential, but let's take gender affirming care out of it. Just to deny people, human beings, healthcare is weird. It's weird as weird.
Like, what type of monster are you? What do you mean?
Right.
I can't get my shit taken care of. I can't go and check my blood pressure. What do you mean?
And also, and just to bring it back, because I always say all of this shit got shit to do with shit. Roe v. Wade was the first step. The next step, like you said, they talking about rolling back for HIV medication. Yeah, that's gonna be the next thing.
So you just gonna wipe out everybody?
They're already they were cutting funding for cancer. They cut funding for cancer. I said, bitch, cancer is the least stigmatizing medical condition you could ever, and you're cutting funding for cancer is insane.
Talk about ain't got no face, want everybody on site. So you gonna cut that? The fuck cancer, huh? So the next one says, Trump announces executive order to eradicate anti-Christian bias in America. My grandma say all sense ain't common. Shit like this shows me it really is, because Christian folks aligning with Trump, even after the man explicitly said that he is not Christian, still blows my mind. And he dumb as fuck, but he know what he doing, because it's so, I don't know, aligning with Christians and then Christian folk being so radical and buried beneath religious dogma and so ready to throw Jesus on top of everything, and anything that is not holy is wrong, and going up under him in this way is just,
I mean, so always, I heard this not too long ago, but they always say, you know, we're a country of immigrants. Mm-hmm. And somebody said, we are not a country of immigrants, we are a country that has immigrants. And we are not a country we are not a Christian country, we are a country that government is based around it.
Yes.
Because while they always try to push this separation of church and state, a lot of this country specifically, and most countries actually, a lot of their government is based around religion.
In God we trust is on the dollar bill.
Correct. So we can't have the separation of church and state when there is in God we trust on our money. And also every inauguration, there is a church service for the incoming president. How does that work?
Right. Make it make sense.
And then if that was, let's say we got our first Muslim president. Let's say we got our first Buddhist president. Are we going to have, are we going to mosque?
Hello? What are we doing?
Because we're a country of immigrants, right? So right. A lot of these people, we are a country of immigrants. So with that being the case, there could possibly be a president that has, their parents, immigrated from here from, 2-3 generations ago, but they're still Muslim. And he ends up being, he or she or they, whatever the case may be. We're not there as they yet, but but they end up being president. And so, are we going to mosque for the first time on national TV?
They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it.
And that's my problem with Christianity in general. There's this hierarchy, this level of morality that has been created. Mm-hmm. That Jesus wasn't even fucking weird.
Which is wow.
If you read the Bible, technically you preachers is the Pharisees. What?
But y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all don't want to hear that.
I say this all the time. Y'all don't read.
No.
Or a lot of times, especially with, they don't see themselves as the villain. You don't see yourself as the villain, even though a lot of fiction is based on reality. Like Star Wars being one of my favorites. Girl, Hunger Games. Y'all are the villain.
Hello?
Y'all are the capital city.
Listen, because y'all's culture has always been raping and pillaging. It's just the thing.
And if we don't be, and honestly, and I always say, Hunger Games is the closest thing that I will ever see to our current society, or what our current society could be. Mm-hmm. Because Hunger Games is based on essentially our country no longer being fully our country because of natural disasters. Mm-hmm. So because of global warming and all of that. So half of the bottom half of the country is gone because it's all underwater. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, we're like when you look at a and once again, I'm a nerd. So, but when you look at a map of Panama, and what they call pandemic in the Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
Most of all of the American South is underwater because of the natural disasters that occurred in past, which would be our present day.
Right.
And so you get the uprising because people were hungry and starving and were over policed and didn't have a livable wage, and all of these, once again, current things are happening. And so you get the government creating districts and over policing these districts. And then you get things like the Hunger Games because the government wants to remind you, hey girl, don't ever uprise again because we gonna kill your kids.
That's it.
What?
And then what you gonna do?
Like, I just be like, it's not about Christianity. It's never been about Christianity. It's always been about having a social hierarchy or a capitalist hierarchy.
That's it.
The people with the most have to stay on the top.
And that's all that's going on right now. And I need people to understand that.
It's never been about Christianity because if people that actually read the Bible would have, once again, but also once again, because white people have also been delusional of who they are in these particular situations, they don't see themselves as the villain. Most of these white nationalists don't see themselves as the Pharisees. They don't see themselves as that.
No.
They see themselves as upholding what Jesus said do.
Right.
But once again, what Jesus said do is not even, y'all are not even doing that.
Y'all not doing that.
Y'all are not doing the basics. Y'all not even living up to the Old Testament, girl. Y'all be this look, and I'm a Jehovah's Witness girl, so look, y'all be thinking we don't know. Baby, I know the Bible,
baby. Because if you didn't have to do nothing as a witness, you had to study. Hello. Well, all right, y'all. We have come to the end of our show. Harri, I want to thank you so much for being with me today. This has been everything that I thought it would be. To all of you out there, I hope that you all enjoyed this episode. Make sure that you all go follow Harri for those rapid fire facts. You will not regret it. And make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Oh, and I have a bit of a just a little bit. I'm starring in a new queer show. It's a scripted television show. It's called Sins Mosaic. Y'all can follow that show as well. It's Sins Mosaic TV, so it's CYNMOSAIC. CYNMOSAIC TV. Y'all can follow that as well. We will have some mini episodes coming out. I play a trans film character on the show by the name of Avery. So yeah, that's awesome.
Sweet shit. Now, has it already started, or does it have like?
No, so it has not started. We are currently on hiatus for production wise, for filming wise, because of the holidays. But we're Valentine's Day. We started our hiatus back in November. And then we're not coming back until after Valentine's Day.
Extended break.
Yeah. So, but we're coming back. There are going to be some mini episodes that are going to come out because we haven't dropped any episodes yet. Most of it is just like crowdfunding and audience building as of right now. Yes, the show is going to be coming out later this year. Like the actual episodes, the pilot episodes are going to be coming out later this year. But we're going to come out with some mini episodes just like introduce you to the characters and kind of the plot of the show. So yeah. Okay, fantastic. Cannot wait for that. All right, y'all. So listen, if you have questions, make sure that you send those over to me at askdgms@gmail.com. That is askdgms@gmail.com. You can follow me on all the socials. They will be down in the link below. Listen, with these conversations, the possibilities are endless, but the focus should always be intentional. Love y'all. Peace out.